Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Leia if you're new here. If not, welcome back. Today I am going to be doing a postpartum update. I am officially 8 weeks postpartum. If you're watching this, I had my son Enzo on December 27th, 2021 via C-section. So I'm here to do an update and just let you guys know what's been happening, how I'm recovering, things that I've been loving, expectations that I had versus reality, and just some of the questions that you guys asked on IG. I'm doing pretty good. This is my first kid. I really didn't have any expectations. I kind of just was taking in all the info that my sisters and women around me had to give me based on their experiences. So I was just taking that all in and just some of the advice, just being prepared, like putting it in my pocket for when I needed it. Overall, it's been really, really good. I'm so grateful for my husband, Eric. I don't know what I'd do, without him. I'm sure I'd make it through, but he's really the GOAT. He's been so helpful from day one. Since he found out I was pregnant. Listen, since I've known him, he's been the GOAT. So just to have him by my side, walking me through everything, and just having someone to go through it with, it's been so amazing. And someone to lean on has been so amazing. So yeah, I had a C-section. Overall, it was a great experience. I've been recovering well. They had me on Tylenol and Motrin from the time I was in the hospital until I got off them maybe a week after I was discharged, so a week after being home, and that was by choice. I don't know what any of the pain felt like. I never felt any pain from the C-section, so I don't really know. I kind of was just taking the mesh just as preventative measures because I didn't want to feel the pain. So that's what I did, and I eventually was like, let me get off of these because I don't want to just be taking them just to continue taking them. So I got off of them just to see what my pain level was. There may have been 1 or 2 days where not necessarily my incision scar, but just my body was just sore, and so I took a Tylenol or something like that. But other than that, I was able to get off the meds super easy. So I was super grateful for that. I've heard some horror stories regarding C-sections, and I literally was posted up on the couch. I didn't do a lot of movement, so I think that kind of helped play into my recovery as well, and also things I did before, being active. I think all those things played a part in my recovery. Mentally, I'm doing so well. Of course, there were days where I was just whoa, what is happening? Or some days I would be crying, moments I would be crying, and I just didn't know why. And so that was kind of weird. But I'm in a much, much, much better place. I think part of it was kind of sleep deprivation as well. There's hours that I wasn't sleeping that I would have before. So my body just adjusting as well as being I wouldn't say drained, but yeah, drained. All my nutrients and all of these things were happening, so were being taken. So I think it was just my body just was adjusting, and hormones adjusting, and mentally, even currently, my hormones are still adjusting. There's so much that I'm going through. Definitely been great. Like I said before, Eric has been such a huge help. I think part of the reason why my mental is in the place that it is because of him and just being honest. If I need a minute, it's okay to be honest, and not feel guilty about it. Whether it's hey, I just need a couple hours by myself, and just not feeling guilty about it, and just being able to replenish, whether I took that time to nap or watch a movie or just sit in silence, whatever that looked like for me, I was able to do that, and I'm still able to do that, so I'm super grateful for Eric. Another thing that's kind of helped me mentally is doing things that I love. I love watching TV and movies. That's my thing, so finding joy in that, binge watching things that I liked, and also self-care, being able to get my hair done has been great, or my nails has been great, being able to get a pedicure. All those things have been great. So really indulging in self-care a little more than I would prior, and then also just taking time to establish those set times and days that I'm gonna go do those things before it gets bad. So that's kind of how it's been on the mental side. Currently, I am still taking prenatal as well as iron. So those are some of the things that I am on as far as medication or things that I've continued. When it comes to hair loss, I had some people ask me about that on IG. And I think that's one of the things when women think about being pregnant and postpartum, they think about hair loss and weight loss. I haven't really lost any noticeable hair. Again, I went into this knowing that that was a possibility. And so if it's a possibility in my head, if I already grasped that, I'm not really thinking about it. It's I've adapted to it, had enough time to adapt to it, to where I'm expecting it and I know that it's like a natural thing. So I haven't really paid attention to it. I may have lost some hair. I did have braids in for like the last 6 weeks of my pregnancy, and then a few weeks after postpartum, and then I went and got my hair done professionally, and then I've just been doing my own little natural styles. I haven't noticed anything significantly. I do know some women that hair loss comes in a little later, so I'm also expecting that. So far I haven't noticed anything drastic. I know some women say that prenatal and your vitamins help. Maybe that's my case. I don't know. So I don't really have an update as far as that, because I haven't really noticed any significant hair loss. And yeah, I've never been super attached to my hair anyway, so hopefully I'll have the same mindset when it happens. I know it's easier said, like bigger picture, than actually being in the moment, but I'm pretty optimistic about how I feel when that happens. So as far as weight loss, I'm almost down. Well, last I went to the doctor, which was my 6-week checkup, I was about 10 pounds away from my original weight when I first got pregnant, or before I got pregnant. That time, which was about 115. So that was shocking. I didn't really care much about that part, because I just had a whole human. So as long as I'm healthy, I didn't really care, and I still don't really care what weight I'm at. Granted, it is weird to like put on a pair of pants that I had on last year around this time and not be able to fit them completely, but to me that's a part of it, and that is to be expected. So yeah, I wasn't planning on to lose weight. Like, I honestly want to gain some muscle, so as soon as I'm cleared to go and work out, definitely want to start doing those things to like gain my muscle and strength, mainly not to lose weight. I have always been like a pretty active and agile person, so to not really have that is more mentally tough on me than the idea of losing weight. So I'm excited to be able to build my strength and my core back, and not be able to run out of breath when I go up the stairs. So I am significantly smaller. Like I said, I'm almost back to the weight I was when I first was pregnant. So many people ask me like, how was the C-section experience? I feel like you only hear about the negative experiences of a C-section, and honestly, I'd do it all over again if I could. 10 out of 10 my experience from start to finish, from the time that I had decided to get a C-section, me and my doctor and my husband decided to get a C-section, that it was best, until now. Like, everything was smooth, everything was perfect. There were some complications in the midst, on my like just natural things that happen as far as like blood loss, but other than that, like 10 out of 10, I wouldn't have changed it or done anything different, and it's definitely something I consider for the future for sure. So as I mentioned before, I am breastfeeding, and that probably has been the most challenging part for me in this postpartum journey, and the biggest adjustment. So originally, when I first had my son, I was nursing, and so he latched immediately. Like, as soon as after he was born, and they finished closing me up in the operating room, and they brought me to, it's like a post-op room, I think, not necessarily recovery, but it's like a post-op room, just to make sure things were, I had to be there for a little bit to make sure I was taking well to like the blood transfusion and all that stuff. He latched right in there, like they were able to latch him right in there, and he was just going crazy, going ham on the boob. So that was my experience with that, and then I did continue to nurse him throughout my hospital stay, which was 4 days. So I did continue to do that. We did supplement formula. Maybe 4 times I had to supplement formula, just because he was eating more than I was able to produce. So, but outside of that, it was solely nursing and pumping. So I did pump as well. I didn't pump in the hospital. I pumped when I came home. I began to pump. For me personally, I did decide to stop nursing, mainly because I wasn't 100% sure why I was nursing in the beginning, and because of that caused more issues, such as like mentally and frustration, because I didn't have a real reason as to why I was nursing. I kind of was just doing it because I thought that was the only way to do it. And so I had to really be honest with myself and say, hey, is this really what you want to do? Or are you doing it because you feel like it's the only option, or is it because what people have told you to do? And because of that reason, also it was painful for me. They say it's not supposed to be painful, but I think there is some type of pain there that you have to endure through for the first couple of weeks or so, whatever that looks like for each mom. And pain tolerance is different, but for me it was a bit much. In the beginning it wasn't as bad, but then when there were times where I was like, yeah, no, I can't keep doing this. It wasn't something that I wanted to continue. So I did decide to exclusively pump, which I had never heard of, and I was just so shocked that this isn't talked about much, exclusively pumping. And so that's what I'm doing, and I'm glad I made that decision. I think mentally it's so much better for me. Even Eric is my husband is able to feed sometimes, which is a huge relief. That could kind of played a part into like my mental well-being, and even physically, like it's been so great, like being able to, there were times where I needed to sleep like an extra hour, and he was able to feed him in my place. So that's been great. I'll probably do another separate video about breastfeeding and just my journey and things that have worked for me and have helped me, but I need a little more time because I'm still like learning things. But overall it's been great. I'm still exclusively pumping, and it's been going great. Yeah, so that's how that's going. But I am excited to share that story a little bit more, because like I said, when I started I didn't know that was a thing to exclusively pump. So I'm excited to share more about that. So that's pretty much my update as far as like physically and mentally, some of the things that I have experienced. If I missed anything, or if you have any additional questions, feel free to comment them below, and I'm pretty sure I'll answer them. If I'll comment them below, or I'll do a separate video depending on how many questions I get. But overall, that's like how things have been going. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.